Picture this. You wake up on a Monday morning. You have a decent job, your bills are paid, your credit score is good. You're doing everything you were told to do. You've got a car payment that fits your budget, a credit card you mostly pay off every month, a savings account with a few $1,000s in it, a retirement plan through work. And yet, you still feel broke. You hesitate before booking trips. One unexpected expense throws off your entire month, and every year you tell yourself, next year I'll finally get ahead. But next year never comes. If you've ever thought, I'm responsible with money, so why does it still feel this hard? Yeah, this video is for you. Because today we're talking about money habits that look responsible, but quietly keep you poor. My name is Nate, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart, hard-working people still struggle financially. If you're someone who pays your bills on time, avoids obvious money mistakes, and still feels stuck, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now look, this isn't about blaming you. This is about exposing habits that feel safe and mature, but mathematically and psychologically hold you back. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Responsibility and wealth are not the same thing. Responsibility keeps you stable. Wealth requires leverage, ownership, and discomfort. Modern personal finance advice is designed to keep you predictable, not rich. Most people are taught to avoid risk, pay everything on time, save what's left, and buy things they can afford monthly. And on paper, that sounds reasonable. But when you zoom out, when you actually look at the math and the psychology, these habits quietly cap your financial life. Let's start with the first one, paying your bills on time. Now don't get me wrong, you should pay your bills, but paying bills on time is not a wealth-building habit, it's a damage control habit. According to Experian, over 80% of people pay their bills on time, yet only about 14% of households are financially independent. So clearly, paying bills isn't the missing piece. Paying bills gives you a dopamine hit. You feel responsible, you feel adult, you feel like you're doing well. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You can pay every bill on time for 40 years and still retire broke. Bills don't compound. They don't create leverage. They don't build assets. They just keep the lights on. If your rent is $2,200, your car payment is $550, and your insurance, phone, and subscriptions are $400, that's over $3,000 a month. Over 30 years, that's more than $1 million paid out. None of that money works for you. Being good at paying bills often means you've structured your life around liabilities, and the system rewards that behavior with a credit score. Which brings us to the next habit, obsessing over your credit score. Now you might be thinking, Nate, credit scores are important. Yes, they are, but they are not the goal. A credit score is basically a resume for debt. It measures how well you use other people's money. According to FICO, an excellent credit score means you're statistically great at paying interest. That's it. Here's what's wild. The average person with an excellent credit score still has thousands in credit card debt, tens of thousands in student loans, and tens of thousands in auto loans. So yes, you can have an amazing credit score and still be broke. Rich people don't ask, how will this affect my credit? They ask, how does this affect my cash flow and ownership? This idea comes straight from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Poor and middle-class thinking focuses on security and approval. Wealthy thinking focuses on control and optionality. Your credit score should be a tool, not a trophy. Next habit, buying things you can afford monthly. This one is dangerous because it sounds responsible. Can you afford the payment? That question has quietly destroyed more financial futures than almost anything else. Let's talk about cars. Say you buy a $55,000 car on a 7-year loan. Your payment is around $800 a month. Affordable, right?
But over 7 years, you'll pay nearly $70,000 for a car worth maybe $18,000 at the end. That $50,000 difference could have been invested, compounded, or used to buy assets. According to AAA, the average cost of owning a car is over $12,000 per year, and yet we call this responsible. Monthly payments numb you. They disconnect the price from the pain. This is basic behavioral finance. When costs are fragmented, spending increases. That's why everything is sold as only $29 a month. It's not about affordability, it's about perception. Next habit, saving what's left over. This advice is everywhere. Pay your bills, enjoy life, and save whatever's left. It sounds realistic, it sounds kind, but mathematically, it's a disaster. Over half of people can't cover a $1,000 emergency. Why? Because whatever's left is usually nothing. Wealthy people do the opposite. They invest first, then design their lifestyle around what remains. This idea comes from The Richest Man in Babylon, written nearly 100 years ago. Pay yourself first isn't self-care, it's forced financial growth. Let's talk numbers. If you invest $500 a month for 30 years at 7%, you end up with over $600,000. If you save whatever's left and average $150 a month, you end up with less than $200,000. Same income, very different result. Next habit, keeping all your money in safe accounts. Savings accounts, GICs, low risk, everything. Emergency funds matter, but here's what most people don't realize. Inflation is quietly stealing from you. If inflation averages 3% and your savings earn 1.5%, you are losing money every year. $20,000 sitting in cash for 10 years loses about $6,000 in purchasing power. Nothing visibly bad happens, it just slowly erodes. As Morgan Housel explains in The Psychology of Money, people fear volatility more than guaranteed loss, and inflation is a guaranteed loss. Next habit, avoiding risk at all costs. Now you might be thinking, risk is dangerous. Yes, but avoiding all risk is also a risk. Not investing is a bet. Not starting is a bet. Not owning is a bet. Historically, markets grow. Cash barely keeps up. Choosing safety isn't neutral. Emotionally, we overestimate rare disasters and underestimate the cost of inaction. Finally, the last habit, thinking budgeting alone will make you rich. Budgeting is useful, but budgeting doesn't create wealth. It controls leakage. It doesn't expand capacity. You can't spreadsheet your way to freedom on a capped income. At some point, wealth comes from ownership, leverage, and scale. This idea is explained well in The Millionaire Fast Lane. You don't get rich managing scarcity. You get rich by expanding upside. Here's the pattern behind all these habits. They focus on avoiding mistakes, not creating wins. They optimize for stability and approval, not growth. But wealth is built by people who think long-term, delay comfort, and prioritize ownership. So what should you do instead? Track net worth, not just bills. Think in lifetime costs, not monthly payments. Invest before lifestyle inflation kicks in. Use credit to build assets, not fund consumption. And focus on building income, not just savings. Savings protect you. Income frees you. I know some of this might feel frustrating because you've been doing what you were told. You've been responsible. But responsibility alone won't get you free. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. The good news is you don't need to be reckless. You just need to stop confusing safe habits with wealth habits. If this helped you see money differently, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe for more honest conversations about money. Being responsible keeps you afloat. Being intentional builds wealth. I'll see you in the next one.